Burgess here with Music Marketing TV, and today we will talk about the Zills 5000 vocoder.
Eric Burgess here with Music Marketing TV, and today we will be talking about the Zills 5000 vocoder. This is a vocoder. For those of you who don't know what a vocoder is, a vocoder simply takes a voice signal in, or any signal really, and can make it change the behavior of another signal. And we call this other signal the carrier. So in this case, the synthesizer is the carrier and my voice is the modulator. And so it makes it sound like the synthesizer is talking because my voice is modulating the synthesizer. So let's go ahead and dive a little bit further because you need to know a little bit more. The way it does this is it has a series of filters. And in this case, we have 22 filters. And each filter is sort of responsible for certain frequencies. And it says, hey, we have a voice and it's got frequencies that line up with the synth here. So you should let these frequencies through. And that is how you get the vocoder to do its job. Because now it'll say, oh, okay, they line up. So we'll let those frequencies through. And it also tells it by how much. So you can see how loud things are just by looking here. Let's go ahead and just look at some of the presets. This is responsible for how it determines what our voice is doing. And so we see here we have an analysis matrix and the ability to control some mixing stuff. Over here we have a synthesizer which controls what our voice is going to be modulating. So let's go ahead and just dive right in. I'm going to turn my speech version off here and just go through some of the presets.
Hello, now we are live. This is Robot Beep. Very nice, very nice. This is Robot Beep. Let's go ahead and add a reverb. This is Robot Beep with a reverb. Yes, this is nice. You should subscribe because of how nice this is. This is a really low version. I'm sorry, sir. We could not stop the Jedi. Tell me a story. Tell me a story. Tell me a story.
All right. This apparently is an effect preset. Ooh, kind of, ooh. Oh.
Okay, this is what we got. Wow. Yum, 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 yum. Yum.
Okay, I think we've seen a couple presets. So there's a lot of kind of strange sounds you can get out of this, and you can get your classic vocoder sound out of this. Let's turn off the reverb here. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the different methods you have to control this thing. So you can control it with your voice via an envelope follower. And we have like a pitch tracker here, and we've got a speech gate. And so that can come through. And that was what you saw on a couple of these presets. They take advantage of this method. You can also just hook up a keyboard. In order to do that, you have to set an input port and then have a MIDI channel outputting. And then you can play your keyboard and it will control the vocoder. That's pretty cool. We also have this frequency shifter, which is pretty cool. I'm going to turn it on. And what it's going to do, it's already working. Maybe I'll turn it off real quick. So I want the frequency shifter to frequency shift my speech. So my speech is going to sound kind of weird. And then I want it to be controlled by the keyboard. And I want the pitch shift to be at 100% now. So I've turned the vocoder off and I'm turning the frequency up and we get a pitch shift. And pitch shifts can sound really cool. Really, 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 really cool. So that is the frequency shifter. Now you can frequency shift other things. Now there's this big matrix, and you may be wondering how this matrix thing works, because there are certain things that definitely aren't going to sound that great. For example, if I get rid of these by just right click and dragging, okay, so we've cleared the matrix and we see this says from analysis. So all this means is each one of these individual bands is responsible for certain frequencies, and that's, it's analysis, and it says how loud these frequencies should be. So each one of these rows corresponds to one of these bands. So if I were to take, for example, band, 21, and I were to say, and I just left click drag and go through this and just add them all, every single one of these bands is going to receive the analysis from only band 21. So as a result, we're only going to get certain frequencies. It's not going to sound all that spectacular. Let's go ahead and load up a basic oscillator, and let's do this. So let's get rid of these and do this. And now it's just a constant frequencies, the same frequencies. Not all that great. So if we want to have, more notes in our range, we can add them sort of diagonally. And now we're getting the band output from multiple things, and we can get sort of these resonancy tones.
Resonancy tones are coming through if I add more bands. If I add more bands.
So as I add more bands, it will become a little easier to tell what I'm saying because we're getting more frequency content in, and the analysis has a larger frequency resolution. And so what we can do is we can add some like sort of strange things and create these weird tonal pockets that can be really kind of scary sounding. If we want to stay really tonal, you're going to want mostly diagonal lines on this thing. So let me just show you a couple examples. So let's go ahead and turn my speech off. Now, the fact that this is an option is pretty cool. A lot of vocoders will give you access to their engine, but it's kind of unique to have access sort of like this in this kind of a fashion. So I really enjoy messing with this. And once you understand the idea of what's going on, it's pretty easy to see like, oh, what if I put some down here? This would be like more low content, more high content. You can create some interesting performance-y things. And when you're working with sound design, this can be pretty dang handy. Now over here, we have a whole bunch of options, but this is just to control the synthesizers. So we have our oscillators, we can tune them. We can control the synth with our voice and have it pitch track with our voice so that our input and our output are being ideally at the same pitch. And we just have a bunch of great options. It's a pretty straightforward effect to have and use. If you have any questions, let me know. This is just sort of an overview and an introduction. If you're interested in more on this particular vocoder, go ahead and drop it in the comments. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, and have a blessed day.